Hello and welcome to Second Life University, a project that aims to provide informative content about the virtual world of Second Life. My name is Strawberry Linden, and today we will be learning more about PBR materials and reflection probes from Second Life's senior software engineer Runitai Linden, also known as Dave P., and Second Life's product manager Kyle Linden. Thanks for joining me today, you guys.
Howdy.
How are you doing?
Yes, thank you.
So, Kyle, we've actually had you on Second Life University before in the summer where you taught us how to file a bug report and all about JIRAs, and that was great. You guys can, the viewers can look that up and check it out and learn more about it. I wanted to get into the PBR stuff, but before we do that, I wanted to give you both an opportunity to tell the viewers a little bit about yourself, what you do at Linden Lab, and how long you've been here. So, Dave, why don't you go first?
Okay, so I've been at Linden Lab since 2005. I mostly work on the viewer, but I've had a hand in just about everything in the last 15 plus years. I took a stint to work on Sanzar, but now I'm back on Second Life, and I'm very, very happy to be back on Second Life. I love the grid, I love the community, and it's just a joy.
Well, we're happy you're back on Second Life too. Kyle, tell us a little bit about yourself again.
Sure, yeah, a little change since the last time we did this. I've been here for nearly 16 years, not quite as long as Dave here, but close. I was in QA for a decade, and I have just recently moved over to product management. Obviously, I love Second Life. I love our product. I never want to leave. And then I'm very, very happy that I get to help drive some of these initiatives for our residents.
Awesome. We don't want you to leave ever. Okay, so Dave, your current project that you're working on is PBR materials and reflection probes. Can you tell us what PBR is and what does this all mean for Second Life?
Sure. So PBR stands for physically based rendering, and it's sort of the standard that's emerged and become just all the thing for real-time 3D content and games and elsewhere. And in a nutshell, it's instead of trying to like fake what your material is by using like our traditional normal map specular glossiness model, you have a lighting model that's based in what light actually physically does. So the only parameters you have to work with are base color, how metallic it is, and how rough it is. And since those feed into an equation that is based on physical reality, that's all you need to express just about every material out there. There are some special cases that don't get covered in that, but we can tackle those in future projects.
Okay, so we're currently on the beta grid right now, Kyle. And this is where, if residents want to come and play with this and try it out, well, first they need to download the correct viewer, which we have a link to in the description of the video, but then they also need to be able to get on the beta grid. Can you tell us how they can do that?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're already logged into the viewer, you can just go to the help menu, click on the support portal link, and then from there submit a ticket. Or if you just go to secondlife.com in any web browser, you will see links to the support portal there. Either way in, you just click that submit a ticket link, and then you go to the account issue drop down, and then from there, either the viewer login or web login, either works, and then just provide your name and say you'd like to be copied to our beta grid.
Okay, and we do have full instructions for that in the description of the video. There's a link there that can give you details, and then you download the correct viewer, and then bam, you're in.
Correct.
Once you're in, where do you go to play with the stuff? Where do you go?
Search for the regions named Rumpus Room.
Okay, cool.
It's a small collection of them. Just have fun.
Great. Right, and usually, Dave, you're hanging around the Rumpus Rooms and working on this stuff with the residents that are there currently?
Yep. And I'm also on Discord pretty often.
Okay, I think you turned the voice on in World. I just heard an echo.
I did.
Okay, so what I wanted to ask is why GLTF versus another? What is GLTF and why that format versus another format?
So GLTF, it's an open standard that's controlled by the Kronos Group. And the Kronos Group is the same people that control OpenGL, which is the graphics API Second Life uses. They also control Vulkan, which is the successor to OpenGL. They control Collada, which is the mesh format that we import from. They're just an all-around good standards body that if you're looking for a long-lived open standard that's going to get extended for a very long time and be relevant for a very long time and be well supported among all the tools, Kronos standards are where you go. So with GLTF material support, we can import materials from tools like Substance Painter and Blender as is, and get those to look exactly like they do in those tools in Second Life.
Okay. So what's the difference between PBR and GLTF?
GLTF is it covers all 3D content just about, and PBR is just the material system. In fact, it's just one implementation of the material systems that GLTF supports. It's the most important one. It's the one that they recommend everybody use. But it's like the GLTF standard also includes things like models, animations, whole scenes, lights. For this release, we're only supporting the material subsection, and specifically the metallic roughness material section of the GLTF standard. So when you go to import a GLTF file, instead of bringing in the whole scene, that'll show you a list of materials that are in that file, and you'll pick one to import, and then it'll show up in your inventory.
Okay, so what are the best apps to build GLTF content for us?
Right now, we're trying to focus on getting what you see is what you get results out of Substance Painter, and so that's sort of our first class application.
Okay.
But pretty much any tool that exports to GLTF should support the spec in a way that is consistent. And Kronos even has a certification program for people to submit their applications to.
Okay.
As long as it says it supports GLTF, it should just work.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as like the exact visuals, since there's some ambiguities in the spec, we try to defer to the implementation in Substance as like the gold standard.
Okay. It's a little over my head, but that makes
Sorry.
sense. No, I mean it's great that I'm learning. So now I'm going to ask the most important question. When will we get mirrors? Because I really need them.
Yes, mirrors.
Yes.
Mirrors are slated for immediately after the materials viewer. I think as soon as it goes to RC, we start work on material on mirrors.
Okay.
But no date.
No date.
Which is a non-answer, because then when is this going to RC? Well, when it's ready.
Yeah, that's what was my next question. When is this going to be public? And so no dates.
Right, no dates. It's stuck in what I affectionately refer to as regression hell at the moment. Anytime we make changes to the Second Life render pipe, we have to test those changes against as much content as possible and make sure that we don't introduce any seams where there weren't seams before. Make sure that content looks true to its intent. And with this change, there are some like there's some changes to the lighting model, and there's some changes to like the color space that we do things in. So it does change the way things look, and so we have to make sure that those are applied consistently everywhere, so that content still looks like it was supposed to look.
And that is partly why we're doing this Linden U today, because the sooner we get people to come on over to the beta grid and play around with GLTF content creation, you know, all those creators out there, come on over, make sure your content looks just as good with GLTF on the beta grid as it does today on the main grid, and the sooner we get to production with this.
Okay, so we really want to encourage content creators to get on the beta grid and play with the stuff, so we can
100%.
get this out even sooner. Okay.
Yep.
So, what about residents that have more questions about all this stuff? Where can we? Is there a user group meeting that they can come to to follow it and what's going on with PBR?
Yes, the content creators user group is definitely the place to go if you're a content creator. If you're a third-party viewer developer and you are you're interested in getting these changes in your viewer, then the third-party viewer meeting is the place to go.
Okay, so it's the content creator user group. There is a link to the Second Life public calendar in the description of the YouTube video. Check it out. All of the user group meetings are listed there, and it happens on the first and third Thursday at 1 p.m. So this week is puppetry, right after our university stream. You can go to the puppetry meeting, and that's also on the beta grid. But then next week will be the content creator user group. So I really wanted to do some fun stuff. There are questions coming into the YouTube channel, which I'll try to answer after that. But I wanted to do some fun stuff. Like maybe can you show me how to build something shiny? Like what do I do?
Sure. Okay. So if you just make a prem sphere, anything like that.
Okay. So I go to build. No, I can make a box. So you have to go slow. Okay.
Okay. And so earlier I handed you a couple of materials. There's a chrome one and a brass one. And one of the big things with this project, actually what started the whole thing, was trying to get it so that you can apply materials without actually having to know anything about graphics or normal maps or any of that. So you've got a material in your inventory, and you can just drag and drop that onto the object.
So which one should I do? Brass first?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I just drag it and drop it. Ooh. Very cool.
Yep. So and those are the PBR values for brass. Like it's a standard where you can just Google, hey, what are the PBR brass parameters? And you'll find Google results that say, okay, it's going to be this base color, it's going to be this roughness, it's going to be this metalness. Okay,
and I don't need to do anything in the edit menu at all?
No. If you want to, you can play with the material by right-clicking on it and saying Edit PBR Material.
Oh, okay.
And there you see the different texture channels that you can play with. You get 4 texture channels, one for each of the base maps. There's the base color, metallic roughness, and it also has occlusion in it. You can see on some of the maps there's an occlusion map, which helps shade areas so that they don't receive reflections or ambient lighting. Can you
tell us more about these mats? What have you done here in this helmet?
Yeah, so those guys come from Substance Painter. Matte is Substance Painter's equivalent of the Blender monkey. That helmet there comes from the Kronos GLTF repository of sample assets. So to import that in World, what we did was convert the GLTF to a DAE and imported the DAE using the regular mesh importer, and then imported the GLTF from the build menu, and that gives you the material in your inventory, and then you drag and drop that material onto the object. It's still more cumbersome than just going straight from GLTF, but baby steps.
Yeah. And I see that the mats have different levels of, I guess, textures or materials on them, like how to...
Right. Yeah. So that first one there, he's got 100% metal, 0% rough. So that gives you that chrome effect. as you move towards the back row, they'll get increasingly more rough. So you'll see the reflection start to dull down, and then at the very back row, even the metal guys look like they're sandblasted aluminum. Towards the left, you get decreasing levels of metalness. So that guy in the front left, his head is gonna look like polished plastic.
Cool.
I'm only talking about the heads here. The rest of the materials on the bodies are kind of all over the place, just test content,
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
And if you look at the bases, the one just like 3 to the right, I believe has an occlusion and metalness map on it, so you'll see some shadows.
The one right behind me, right here.
Yeah, the body doesn't, and then as you get more to the... Oh no, he does have a... I'm sorry, I'm looking at the compressed video. I should just look at it on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so you'll see some indirect shadowing going on there that's baked in. But you'll also see some indirect shadowing and lighting that's not baked in. Like if you look at the folks on the back row,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see that even the dull fellow in the far back left and the white sphere there, the white sphere actually doesn't even have a PBR material on it. It's receiving its lighting from the irradiance map. So and in order to get these physically based materials to look right, they have to actually receive light from the environment. That's how you make things look realistic, is through global illumination, which is light bouncing off of and scattering off of objects. So you'll see that there's a little bit of a green tinge. Well, that's because there's light hitting a giant green wall.
Yeah, I saw that a lot of them are reflecting the green. So I'm gonna try. I can just drag the chrome one on top of here. I just want to see what that one looks like. I guess it'll look similar to the mats. Let's see. Oh, very cool. You can see the walls reflecting on it.
Yep, and we also have screen space reflections going on here, which you can see mostly in the floor and kind of on the edges of that sphere. But the mats reflecting off the floor, that's coming from a screen space reflections effect. That was put in by Linden, who's the newest member of the team. So
you can even see my outfit kind of reflecting at certain angles. Very cool. So there was you wanted to should we cam outside or go to that reflection?
Oh yeah. Let's go check out some places that have been set up with reflection probes. You might want to take that ball with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I shouldn't leave my mess behind. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna use it hopefully.
Yep.
Have some fun with it. Okay. So there was also this reflection thing that you guys have set out here. It reflects the homes, Kyle, that you were telling me about this?
Yeah, it's just a simple example of just dropping a reflective surface in the world, and it's just automatically picking up the other objects around it, much like inside that last room.
Yeah, I can see the homes reflecting off of there.
Yeah, and this one was provided graciously by Windows CE. We definitely appreciate folks coming by the Rumpus Room regions and putting some content down for us to see and test against, and it's always fun to see what people come up with.
Right, so we're going to go into this house next?
Yes, so we're going to talk about reflection probes, because we touched on it a little bit, but really in order for these effects to look correct, you have to set up your scene with reflection probes, and that's just a reality of PBR and real-time engines today. So if you look at this sphere, you'll see that it's reflecting objects that are not inside the room. It looks like it's outside. And unfortunately, automatic placement and creation of reflection probes is still something of an unsolved problem. So we have a solution that's not perfect, but you can override the results of that solution by manually placing probes. And if you want to see what it looks like when the algorithm gets lucky, there's a one in this room.
Oh yeah, this is mostly inside.
Right.
So why did this one get lucky?
It's just sometimes the algorithm ends up putting one in the middle of a room, and sometimes it ends up putting one outside a room and encompassing the inside of the room. It's very hard for an algorithm to determine what's inside a room and what's outside a room, or what the middle of a room is, or what the walls of a room are. Like artists have to help it. And what that looks like is placing reflection probes. And this isn't unique to Second Life. This is a problem that you'll also face if you make content for something like Unity or Unreal.
Okay. So, look, I'm going to follow you. We're going to the next house, or?
Yeah, so in this next house, you'll see what it looks like if you take a minute to put what's called a box probe. It's a reflection probe that's shaped like a box. And it basically acts like a hint to say, hey, this is where a room is. And when you do that, your reflections become very precise. And you get...
Ooh.
Let me actually make this physical. And you just sort of drag that around, and it looks like it is where it is.
Wow, the reflections are changing.
Yeah, and you'll see it in my hat. It doesn't really matter how complex the object is. It all happens on the GPU, and just figures out for each pixel which probe does it need to apply. And you also get irradiance, which we saw a little bit in the room full of mats. So a lot of the lighting on the walls here is it's actually coming from the windows. You can see that quite clearly in a room over here.
Go there. Hang on.
Did I lose you?
Yeah, I'm coming. Let's see.
So,
Oh, wrong room. This one right here?
see, this room is another reflection room. Check out this room. I love this room. This room works out great because it's got a little splash of a little splash of light on the floor, and that light hits
Look at your hat.
the walls. So this light that you see hitting the ceiling and the walls is actually indirect lighting from the window, and you can see it on the back wall too. And that will automatically update with time of day and as you change the color of things in the room, or if you add local lights.
Cool. So people just have to place the probes themselves, or people can buy, or like homes that will come with, like, how will that work? I'm just trying to understand it all.
Right, so you place a probe by putting a prem down, and in the features tab there's a reflection probe checkbox. And there's a guide on the wiki that documents the ins and outs of that, and we hope to be producing some more detailed walkthroughs. But long term, what should be happening is when you build a house or an apartment or a skybox or other things and put them on the marketplace, those environments should come outfitted with reflection probes already, so that you don't, the person who's the end user, not the content creator, they should never have to know what a reflection probe is. What you don't do, this is very important, what you don't do is make the shiny thing a reflection probe.
Okay.
They're expensive. You only get 256 of them at a time. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. We lost Kyle.
Yeah, I know. I just noticed.
I lost his internet.
It's okay. He'll be back. So in the future, when content creators are building their homes and so forth, they can provide that as,
right,
another perk to their home. It comes with reflection probes.
Right. But what we do expect end users to be doing is things like you see those doorknobs behind you.
Yes.
And you've got that material called brass.
Yeah.
Well, it's pretty clear that the content creator, and they're a very, very talented content creator. This was made by, I lost it. I had it in my notes, and I've lost the note. I'll need to give them a shout out somewhere.
Okay.
But you can see on these doorknobs, they were going for brass, but it's a baked lighting because traditionally Second Life's shiny material has not really looked shiny.
Yeah.
And brass has been a very hard thing to get to look like brass. But now, if you just drag and drop that brass onto those doorknobs,
I can just drop it on there? No, I can't.
You can't. Oh, you're gonna have to God take this one.
I am in God mode.
Yeah, you're gonna have to take it. You're gonna have to like right click, edit, and then admin.
Admin.
You have to do
up here. Okay.
Up admin object force owner to me.
Force owner to me. Okay.
Yay.
I didn't know I could do that.
Oh yeah. The power.
You're teaching me bad things. Okay, so now I can drag it just right on top of there? Oh, wow. Okay.
And now it looks like brass.
Yeah. And I can do the same thing with the chrome for the other one if I want it?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh my goodness, that is
so that's
cool.
what we expect this project to enable people in terms of like decorating your homes, because you can go nuts with this. Like in fact, let me look here. I've got some.
This chrome one looks amazing. Look at the reflection coming up from all the way outside.
Here's some not so deep blue paint. Let me set the parameters on that. So let's see, permissions. Yeah, you can tell we rehearsed this so many times. So here's a not so deep blue paint material.
Okay.
And you can just
drag it on the brass one?
No, the walls.
The wall. Oh, okay. Like any of the walls?
Any of the walls.
Okay. Ooh. It's like a turquoise.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And like drop a light in and make it not so gloomy in here.
Kyle's back. Welcome back, Kyle. I can't get over this. I can't get over the doorknobs.
Yeah.
This is so cool. And it's as easy as that. Like anybody can.
Yeah, and that's really where we want to see the tools go for customization of items. Is you shouldn't have to be an expert to use PBR. You shouldn't even have to know what it is.
Right.
Like you should be like, hey, I want that wall to be this material. I saw it on the marketplace. I got it on the marketplace. I'm gonna put it on my house.
Okay. All right. So what else do we need to? I see the YouTube chat is going crazy. I can't tell if there were any good questions, but is there anything else that we're almost at the half-hour mark? But is there anything else that you guys wanted to mention, or think what else we need to cover?
Please, if you are a content creator, test your content against the GLTF project viewer, and please, if you have been waiting for PBR and Second Life, come to the beta grid and put your content on the ground and share it with us. We want to make sure that the tool chain and the render pipe and everything is set up so that you can do exactly what you want to do. Because once this is out there past release candidate and people start using it, it becomes very, very, very hard to make changes.
Okay, I saw one question come in. Can we create our own environment maps for things like clothing?
No. Your clothing will take on the environment map of whatever area you're in. That's like maybe someday we'll have the ability to override the reflection probes, but that is really a gimmicky edge case, and right now we want to put pressure towards doing the normal thing, which is it looks like it's in the environment that it's in, and it will not look like it's in the environment that it's in if you put a static custom reflection map on it.
Okay. And how does this affect your, computer? How taxing is all this? Like, do you need a really great video card and so forth to see all this, to do all this stuff?
No, you need OpenGL 4. I think we found out that about 1% of Second Life users don't have OpenGL 4. You'll still be able to log in, you just won't get the reflections. Like, you'll still have Second Life the way you are. But in order to pay for the graphical update, we took some resources away from other things and optimized the render pipe a little more, a lot more. So, for example, the water reflections used to be, in order to get the water reflections, we like render the entire scene again, so you get these real-time water reflections. Now we rely on the reflection probes and the screen space reflections to do that. We also took away the extra render pass for the objects underwater. It wasn't really necessary. You could get the same look without making the computer draw everything again. So the net change should be that your frame rate goes up.
Nice. Good to hear. That's good. Okay, I think we are at the half-hour mark, so I did want to end the show, and I wanted to thank you both for sharing all this information with me. A lot of it went over my head. I'll be honest, it's not my thing, but I'm just waiting to have a nice mirror that I can look into and play around with. But hopefully that's on the pipeline. So we do want to again reiterate that we highly encourage the content creators to get on the beta grid, download the latest viewer to do this and play around with their content. Kyle, any last words for our viewers?
Just to reiterate something that Dave said earlier, yes, we know there's bugs. You can probably have even seen in this video my hair's a little off. So again, that's another pitch. Get on the beta grid, find the bugs, report them. That'll help everyone.
What's the best way to report the bugs when you're playing around with this stuff? Jira, or just if you guys are around the Rumpus Rooms to just talk to you, or how does that work?
You can never go wrong if you file a bug report in Jira.
Okay.
Yeah, the Jira bugs get triaged every single day, it seems, and end up right in front of developers pretty much as soon as possible. And we tend to take them in the reverse of the order in which they came in. So
okay.
It's a stack, not a queue. So
interesting. Good to know. Okay, and any last words, Dave, for the viewers?
It's been a lot of fun doing the live stream, and hope to see you guys in Rumpus Room and at the user groups.
Yeah, I'm so happy. I'm really excited about all this. I'm still obsessed with those doorknobs. I can't get over how amazing it looks. But I hope the viewers enjoyed the stream. You learned a lot, and I hope a lot of you are logging into the beta grid as we speak. I am going to check out now. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more informative content coming soon. So stay safe and stay virtual. Bye, everyone.